Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio down here in Mississippi or to one of our online affiliates around the world, including our iHeartRadio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. You guys know I love a great conversation, and our next guest is recording artist Stoll Vaughan, who's celebrating the release of his brand new project called, appropriately so, The Conversation. We're going to talk to Stoll not only about what it's been like for him to do what he loves when it comes to music, but also what it was like for him to have this new project that adds not only the musical element but also the visual element as well, and what it's been like for him to already hear about the early response to the project as well. If you're just not hearing about Stoll's new project, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can be able to get it for yourself. But Stoll, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, doing really well. You know, Stoll, as soon as I heard about your project, The Conversation, it only made sense that you would be on Conversations Live, right? I mean, to be able to talk about it. You know, I love the fact that music is such a conversation piece, and you've been able to tell stories through music. What has it been like for you already, Stoll, to see the early response to this project?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I think, you know, and this is just the beginning because as with every good conversation or kind of the project that I'm doing, it expands into bringing in other people like producers, a guy Carl Bramel from My Morning Jacket who takes some of the songs and puts some of his production in, and kind of returning to my old stomping ground, the Mellencamp world, and kind of flushing out some more songs like that. So it was a real journey, kind of a spiritual journey for me to kind of begin isolated with an acoustic guitar, and then kind of finish up with kind of how I started.
For sure. And music is something that is very obvious that you are, you know, not only passionate about, Stoll, but also the fact that you're able to use it, I mean, to be able to speak. You know, I tell people all the time to be able to find their voice, whatever it might be, you know, no matter what platform it might be. When did you realize that music was that platform for you?
I think from the beginning, not that I was that aware of it, but probably when I started playing guitar, I realized that it was an opportunity to kind of speak to yourself. You might not know what that conversation is at the beginning, but then the more that I gravitated towards it, it kind of became a meditation, and then it kind of became what helped me kind of find answers and move along in my growth. So it started probably from the beginning, if I look at it now. But when I really decided that it was kind of fundamental to my telling my voice was a lot later, probably around my first record.
Mm-hmm. And could you have imagined at the time, Stoll, that people would be able to feel so much through your music? I think that's the other beautiful thing. Even in the teaser clip that was released for this project, The Conversation, just that little bit, I mean, made us want to have more. And, I mean, is that something that could you have imagined would be the case with this journey for you?
I remember when I made that decision, that's really why we do music or kind of art, you know, because music is a real self-consumed act. You know, you're kind of thinking about yourself, and there came a point early that I decided that you know, I didn't want to go down the road of just always thinking about myself. So why am I going to do this? And I realized that when you do it well, it can really connect to people's emotions and kind of guide them or make them feel like they're not alone. And I remember when I found that discovery, I realized that music has that sort of long-term power. You know, when we first start out, it's like, oh yeah, this is great, I'm great, you know. But that shifts over time.
Right. And I think that is the beauty of it for sure. And I think, too, even as, music has evolved, and, of course, the way that we find out about music, I mean, you have been able to use technology to your advantage. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Stoll, with this project, not only being, of course, the acoustic of the music, but also the visual as well. Have you found that marriage has been a great thing for you to be able to add, that visual flavor to what you're doing musically?
For sure. With the guy who directed the videos, Austin Lynch, him and I worked on a project together, a couple projects together, but this one called Interview Project, and it was presented by David Lynch, and so we kind of rekindled that feeling where it's really kind of documenting kind of life around you, and I knew that when we set out to do these songs acoustically where I live in Los Angeles, where he lives, that it would definitely have that emotional tie. Visuals always kind of, you can tell any story with visuals, but the way that Austin kind of approaches it is in a way that allows you to kind of, just like how I write songs, kind of allows you to think about it a little bit deeper and have your own experience with it. It's not, these visuals aren't me falling in love or, breaking up or anything like that. There's all those things inside of them, but you can have your own experience with them.
Right. I think that's it, and I think that personal experience is something that is so important, and also something that comes through. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Stoll Vaughan to our program today. Stoll is celebrating the release of his new project called The Conversation. We're going to tell you guys at the end of the segment how you can be able to not only get the project for yourself, but also stay connected with Stoll. Now, so Stoll, we're able to hear you on these projects, but also, you're known, of course, for touring as well. I want to talk about the live performance for you, because it's one thing to do something in studio. What is it like for you to be able to not only perform on stage, but also to see and to feel the reaction from the crowd?
Oh, it's beautiful. You kind of, that's such an element to doing music that you sometimes, the studio feels awkward, because you know what songs work, and you don't know exactly why they work, but so it kind of carries you through. It gives you an energy that helps you continue to kind of, as we've been talking, have that kind of ongoing conversation with yourself and with an audience. When you're in the studio, you can get kind of lost in the production elements of it, and kind of the in the minutia of everything, and live goes by so fast that you really, if you're really present, you don't even recognize it, but then you can kind of look back at the experience. And I think that's the power for me of live, and that's the power of the videos that we did, is that the videos that we did is their performances. I'm performing the songs live, and then the images are kind of are wrapped around them with kind of the cinematic landscapes and kind of sounds and stuff like that. So, I want to stay as close to being live as possible, because it keeps you in the moment.
Right. I think that's it. Do you feel as though what you're doing right now, Stoll, and this is a question I thought about asking with you, because I was curious about your response. I mean, I think these days there are so many people who are trying to be the next X, Y, or Z. Do you think one of the reasons why your music resonates so much is because you're just trying to be yourself and being the truest form of what that is for you? For sure. I've been on the other side where I've produced artists and trying to help them achieve an ideal, but my ultimate goal is to help them to find themselves. But it's really difficult to be honest throughout that process, and you can hear it when somebody goes behind a microphone when they start singing. Music is a very it's kind of it's just in the air, and you can hear somebody
be themselves and hear them try to be somebody else. And I've been blessed to always seek and have people around me that kind of guide me to being the best version of myself and not try to be anything else. And that's you have to trust a lot of things in that that are difficult for people. I mean, I've seen a lot of good artists also get lost in trying to be somebody that they're not. So, I'm really blessed right now, and I'm grateful that you can hear that too in what I'm doing, because that's the ultimate goal with this piece, is to start with it being as basic as possible with myself on an acoustic guitar, and then sitting with friends that are really talented and producing those things, but in a live sense, and so the lyric and who I am comes across above and beyond everything else.
Right.
So I appreciate you seeing that.
Well, I think what I was thinking about when I first heard about the conversation, Stoll, was that you don't hear a lot of this, and I think that is what makes it so unique, right? I mean, I think that's what makes people want to hear more of it. I mean, I think releasing that clip was, it was probably for people like myself who are kind of impatient and who are like, okay, where's the rest of it? I mean, you have that effect, but it also, I think just that in itself says a lot, because it's not like something that you hear all the time. The way that we hear music, and that brings up this point, the way that we hear music, the way we experience music has changed so much over the past 10 years. So, how important has it been for you to, as we were just talking about, Stoll, to stay true to yourself, but also to make sure that you're taking advantage of the platforms that are available?
Staying true to yourself is the most important. And that is, and I've said this before, I think, the next generation of the digital natives, that have grown up in this world, it won't be as difficult to follow the trends and to express themselves and to kind of really create and be free. I started when computers were, kind of a random thing in a studio that were really expensive, that they would wheel in, and to render something would take 2 hours, what would take maybe not even 30 seconds now. And so the change that's happened in my life doing music is MySpace, and then, there's a ton of change always going on. I think in the long run it's going to be really beneficial to musicians. But for me, I think, it's difficult. I mean, you're having a conversation all the time. Do you give all of it away right now, or do you do one song at a time? Do you do this? Do you do that? How are people going to consume it? I have this faith that if I really put my heart and soul into what I'm doing, then it will find its place. And that's maybe the platform changes tomorrow and we put it on there, and but if it's true and we all kind of gravitate people who are looking for certain things, then I think that there is an energy in the world that works that way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I think that in itself says so much, because you're right. I mean, we do live in interesting times, and it kind of goes to what I was saying about even just releasing the teaser. It makes us want more, but then we have to be patient. Well, thankfully, today we can have the rest of it, and so right. I think that's the great thing, and I think too it keeps people engaged. I think that's part of the conversation that kind of took place with this was, okay, there's this clip out there. We all have this clip. Who's going to be the first to get the whole thing, and then be able to tell people, hey, I got it, you have to get yours. And now, like I said, we'll be able to tell people how to do that. What keeps it fun for you? Because, it is the music business, Stoll. What right. is it that keeps the business fun for you?
Well, the business is funny. I mean, I don't know. A lot of times I wonder if there's even a business around the music business. If anything, I started like 4 years ago. It didn't work out. I started a artist development company with my old agent from a major agency, and so we set out to kind of do the music business where you can really create and you're just going to blow up artists left and right. And it's fun to build a studio. It's fun to manage a band and manage a house band and manage artists and write with them. I mean, there's a lot of great moments in all of that. Is it soul fulfilling in the end, which is really what constitutes whether I'm having fun or not. And that's something that only each person can answer on their own. I mean, some people love, doing the crazy stuff in music and doing the business side of it. For me, what keeps it fun is just kind of running into a new song, writing a new song, spending time with people that are like-minded, that are great musicians and bring something different to the table. Being grateful to be in the position that I'm in, being grateful to have the people around me. I think that's what's the most fun. I mean, if you're looking for a business, music is definitely not the choice to make. It would be better to go to school for something that is easily kind of the path is easily laid out. But what's fun about this is that you get to really, I mean, coming back to what the record is and everything, is that you get to just have this continual conversation with people and the struggle and the joy and, the kind of the awe of music. That's a lot of fun. And the business side of me getting a hold of music supervisors, writing for directors, touring, that's just what you kind of do in between the real fun of it, which is creating with people.
Right, for sure. And that creation process continues, and now, of course, with the conversation, we're able to take a piece of that with us. It's available now, as I mentioned. People can go to your website, Stoll, at stollvaughan.com, to be able to get it. Also, of course, through the online retailers as well. I think, the other great thing about the conversation is that, I have found this, and this is a funny thing for me when I first saw the visual, too. I like to close my eyes a lot of times when I listen to music, and I kind of sometimes create my own picture. What was it like for you, Stoll, to kind of be able to have a picture now available to kind of go along with the narrative?
Oh, I was so happy. And like I said, I mean, Austin did such a great job, and, his sensibilities. Austin's been the director has been such a great friend of mine, and he actually helped me in kind of formulating where I was going, because I had all these songs, and I have a studio and all these sorts of things, and he kept on pressing for the acoustic performance. And so when then I saw the landscapes in Los Angeles kind of interwoven with everything, it was great. I was so happy, and but on the flip side, I had to make sure my hair was okay and all that sort of stuff. So, it takes a little while to really see the visuals when you're the star performer.
Right, for sure. Well, congratulations to you. The entire project, I know, is something that people will continue to be able to listen to watch, and to be able to share and to let people know about as well. Again, everyone, as I mentioned, stollvaughan.com is the place to go for the conversations. Make sure you're staying connected with Stoll there. And Stoll, it goes without saying, you're welcome back here anytime. I'm looking forward to having you back again.
I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the kind words. It really means a lot. It really does. And
well,
and I look forward to talking to you again. I mean, we have the next part of it, which is the music with My Morning Jacket, Carl Bramel, and so hopefully we'll chat about that.
Sounds like a plan. We'll definitely make it happen here. I thank you again. I really appreciate that, Stoll, and I know our audience will enjoy the conversation. Again, go to StollVaughan.com to be able to get that for you. And also, of course, make sure you all are staying connected with Stoll there, so make sure you all are looking for the updates on his website, again, there at StollVaughan.com. If you all came in late and you missed part of the conversation with Stoll, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites, so head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.